And so what was the evolution to becoming a trainer? Did you own a particular dog, or did you run into some dogs that made you want to learn more?
Yeah, so like a lot of trainers, I didn't um, start as a child saying I want to be an animal trainer. At some point in time, I adopted a dog. So that was um, when I bought a home in Oakland and finally had a yard. So was able to give a dog a home rather than living in an apartment in San Francisco where we were restricted from having an animal. Even though many animals thrive still in apartment settings, we didn't have a landlord who would permit it. So once we bought a home in Oakland, we adopted a male golden retriever who was about 6 years old. And about a year and a half into caring for him, he got a 3-year vaccine for rabies, and then shortly thereafter had a vaccine reaction and developed human-directed aggression. So worked through a lot of those challenges using some of the tools that I still use. So behavior adjustment training, which we often call BAT, and look at that, which we often call LAT. About that same time, when he was developing human directed aggression to mostly to strangers, um, we also adopted a very fearful dog. And um, there was some suggestions that were given to us from the rescue, which were akin to which were essentially flooding her. So flooding is presenting the animal with the fear eliciting stimulus, which for her was the world at full strength. So it was just sort of throwing her into the deep end. Very quickly discovered that that was not a good idea. And then started looking at the literature. So there were some really helpful books that were out there. And then I said, I know this stuff already. I studied this in my undergrad and graduate studies in psychology. Because the degree that often ends up in the instructional design and education is a degree in psychology. I, in particular, have a master's degree in industrial and organizational psychology. So we certainly had learned the foundations of operant conditioning, had learned the foundations of classical conditioning, and those pieces, as I was reading through the literature on how to help really fearful dogs, it was essentially the same things that we would do with humans.